As of the recording of this video, I am currently now 20 years old. That's a long time. You know, I was just 19 a couple of minutes ago, and now I'm 20. And I knew I was gonna feel this way when I turned this age, but you know, I don't feel 20. Which is weird, right? Because, you know, like, it's a big number. Like, you know, 18 is like when you turn, like, into an adult for the first time. But for me, I feel like 20 kind of really solidifies it. Because, you know, like, now you're in your 20s. You're in your second decade of life. I don't really know what to say, you know? You know, there's some people who haven't even made it to 20 yet. So it's like, I think that's cool, you know? So, a couple of things have been going on this year, you know, that I really liked. That happened, you know, like, you know, working for John Freedom, you know, getting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, that, you know, and I think this has been really one of the most successful years I've had on YouTube, I think. And I hope that next year is even more successful, like even better year, you know? A couple of my videos this year have gotten 1,000 views, and I hope to, you know, I hope to reach that as an average, because that's kind of been my goal, you know, with YouTube, is that when I was a kid, I wanted to reach 1,000, like, not 1,000 subscribers, but 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I wanted that as my dream, and you know, nowadays I'm more like, you know, I want at least 1,000 people to watch every single one of my videos, you know, and a couple of people to comment on it. That's kind of my dream in that way. So I hope I'll be able to do something like that this year, or get monetized next year. Because this year, I hope, you know, I get monetized, you know, or next year. That would help me out a lot. I've been working at, like, this YouTube channel for around 7 years now. And, you know, it's only been, like, the last 2 years that I've been really focusing on content and taking it a lot more seriously with the algorithm and stuff like that. And now I'm just kind of like, I'm not really wanting to do focusing necessarily on the algorithm really that much anymore. I don't really want to appease that and focus in on the studio app, right? Where I don't know if you guys are content creators, but you know, you post a video and you're obsessively checking over the analytics and you're like, man, you know, I really hope this video pops off, and then, you know, you don't get that confetti and it completely ruins your day. You know, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be completely depressed thinking that my video's not funny or great, you know, when I post it out, you know? It turns into a gambling addiction at that point, and that's not what art should be. You know, YouTube's an art form, you know? Whether you like it or not, it is an art form, and a lot of people forget about that. I've seen people argue that it's never going to be taken seriously, but you know, it's generally actually one of the art forms recently that's been taken the most seriously. You know, sponsorships have been constantly going to YouTube channels more faster than like how music was getting brought up, but like popular music got brought up, you know? It took them like 7 years compared to like the music industry, like the popular music industry, to get taken seriously as an art form in that way, you know? So there's a lot of people who are taking it way too seriously. And with that, you know, like, the ecosystem with YouTube, I've noticed changed a lot. With, you know, not only, like, the development of, you know, the website becoming more corporate, but, you know, with its community, a lot of people are more focused in on making challenges or appeasing the algorithm more so than making, like, a memorable video. They're making a remarkable video, but they're not making videos that, you know, that they focus in on wanting people to come back to, like a film, you know? Those types of videos I really enjoy. And what do I mean by this? I mean, like, videos like Video Game Donkey or Technoblade, you know, where they're just, like, they film moments of their life like that. And, you know, there's still YouTube channels like that, you know? They're just not as common on YouTube as there was. A lot of gaming content nowadays is just people, you know, like, doing a bunch of challenges, even non-gaming content, and with over-the-top editing, and, you know, it wasn't focused in so much on progression. YouTube was back then. It was more so focused on storytelling, and storytelling's still a big part of YouTube, but it's different. You know, it's not necessarily focused in on roleplay as much, or D&D, you know, which I find a bit sad. But, you know, I hope to make content that people come back to. One thing that I am glad about, though, is the YouTube clips, you know. That's still popping. That's popping off even more now, and I hope that people continue on with clips. Like, the streamer game, I think, adds a lot to it, to the YouTube ecosystem. And they need to bring back YouTube messaging. They need to bring back YouTube messaging. That was one of the best systems to communicate with other content creators on YouTube. And they cleaned it out. They got rid of it. It was so sad. You know, I want that back. And I've heard also recently that they were testing a feature of removing comments completely from YouTube. Whatever happened to broadcast yourself, man? Whatever happened to broadcast yourself? Like, now it's market yourself. Why? Like, the website was built on community, and now it's kind of steering away from that. And you've been seeing that in the last couple of years, too. You know, in a way, it's the best time. I hear so many people say, oh, it's the best time to become a YouTuber. That is true. You want to know why? Because no time was the best time to become a YouTuber. If you become a YouTuber at any time, you know, like, and you work hard at it, you can achieve something, you know? Some people have to work really hard, you know, but those who work the hardest, you know, become more respected, you know? So your hard work pays off, man. Hell, I've been working at YouTube for 7 years, and, dude, like, I'm still not even monetized, but, you know, I've learned so much on the platform, and I've seen it grow through many different stages. The one thing I hope that stops, though, is this brain rot over-edited content. And I'm gonna get backlash for this, but we need TikTok to be banned. I think that is a big thing that should be, like, disregarded. And I know it's a controversial statement, like, why? You know? Then there's just gonna be a bunch of TikTokers that are gonna go over to YouTube, and that's the point. But then, like, once they get rid of TikTok, you know, like, YouTube is probably gonna follow suit with destroying YouTube Shorts, right? At least I think so. Or they're not gonna focus in on doing that. maybe attention spans will be fixed by then, you know? I've bet there's many people my age, right, or younger, who have clicked on this YouTube video and they have not even reached this point yet. They've clicked on the video, they thought that was a funny thumbnail, and then they're like, oh, this guy's talking about YouTube now? What? This is not what I signed up for. You know? I'm gonna click off. And you know, that's them, right? But if they're going to click off because they're just not immediately stimulated by epileptic seizures every 5 seconds, you know, that's not really a good thing, you know? You should be able to sit down and watch a movie all the way through. We shouldn't be feeling like restless, like after not watching YouTube shorts, you know? It's a horrendous cycle of continuing, like you're watching more and more of it, and people make money off of this, you know? And they get views off of this, and like that's what encourages people to do more, you know? So it's really our fault, other than YouTube. I hope, you know, with the future, that, you know, I may become famous at some point, you know? Like, not really, like, extraordinarily famous, you know? Though, that may be cool, you know? But, like, I want to be a big YouTuber in some ways. I still love music very much, but I've noticed that there's just not a lot of people who are wanting to collaborate, at least right now, on making a band or something like that, which I find very sad. So I'm wanting to do more commentary videos. I'm thinking about that, and right now, with the advent of me becoming 20, because, like, you know, I've heard thousands of older people say that the 20s were, like, the best of their lives. I don't want to waste my 20s. That's my biggest fear, you know? But I want to do something meaningful. And I have a fear that, you know, that if I don't do, like, something, like, soon, or something fast, or, like, I go to parties. If I don't go to parties and I don't hang out with everybody at the same, and meet a bunch of people, and, you know, work on these huge art projects, and, you know, put a bunch of stress on myself to want to become something, you know, and want to make a legacy that, you know, I'll never get that chance again after, you know, after 5 years. And sometimes I feel like, oh man, am I actually gonna live till I'm 30, you know? Because it doesn't seem like that's a long ways away, you know? But at the same time, it's like I need to calm myself down. Because it's okay, right? Look, I'm probably never going to feel like I'm 20 until like 7 years later, right? Which is okay. You know, people age, and we need to be okay with that. I just wish I didn't have this pressure in my head that I'm like, you know, like, I want to achieve something. I want to do something great. But I don't want to feel like I have a time limit to do so, right? I don't feel like anybody wants to have a time limit on, like, their spotlight. But I think what's helping me right now, in some ways, is, like, noticing a bunch of content creators, right? Recently. That have a name for themselves. They're in their 30s now. Like Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, PewDiePie, they're all in their 30s. PewDiePie has a kid, you know? Jerma's almost in his 40s, you know? If he's not in his 40s already. And more recently, Pirate Software, a guy I've been watching on YouTube, has been, you know, is like almost in his 40s, you know? And I think that's great, you know, that a lot of people, you know, regardless of their age, are just starting a YouTube channel and, you know, getting success. So I hope to be in like a content creator group with like 7 or 6 people in the future, where we're just like making videos out together, you know, kind of like some of those SMP YouTubers or something like that, where we're just having a blast. That would be awesome, and then we can give each other criticism, and then we can keep going off of each other. But the thing with YouTube, I want them to be more focused on is the content. And a lot of the people I've been seeing with, you know, with YouTube is, you know, when I go into like a YouTuber, a Minecraft YouTube, small YouTuber Discord server, right? There's not that many like people who are focused in necessarily on the art form of it, of, you know, wanting to make people laugh and get like good jokes in there and make it the best possible content they can. They just want to do challenges and they want to do stuff like that, and that's okay, but I don't want to do that, you know? And then another thing, I'm not enjoying college recently. Right now is 2 days until the end of the semester, and for the past couple of weeks, I've just not been really enjoying college. I don't really want to continue with it. I gave it the good try, and I, like, for whatever reason, sometimes I just can't get out of bed, waking up, like, at 7 o'clock in the morning, you know, to go to college. And sometimes I feel paralyzed in my bed when I wake up. Probably because, you know, I don't know why that is, actually. Why I wait, like, sometimes I just don't get up in the morning, but it happens. You know, I want to get a saxophone. I hope I get a saxophone as a birthday gift. My parents were talking about it, but they weren't able to do it today, which I'm fine with, you know. If it's a late birthday gift, it's fine, you know. But I didn't even know they were gonna give me a saxophone, you know. But I feel like once I get the saxophone, I'm pretty much set. I've got myself a mellotron. I've got 2 bass guitars. I've got a electric guitar. I've got a drum set. I've got a keyboard, you know. I've got the whole band. And I love the saxophone. The problem is I do have a saxophone. It's just an alto saxophone that's broken, and it's a Chinese made one. And, you know, that just you know, you can't play a broken saxophone, especially if it's an alto and and it's in a different key, and it's like, you know, might as well just get a different saxophone. Maybe don't buy saxophones off of eBay. I hope that my 20s are gonna be a great decade, you know? And I hope that I'll be able to achieve success in this decade, you know, in my next decade of living, you know, between 20 and 30 years old, you know. I think that would be cool. This is very therapeutic. I should do more commentary like this. I'm not the first to do this, by the way. There was like another person who was doing like a journaling over its series. And I thought, I was like, oh man, I have a good idea, but apparently no. Someone already did it already, but you know, fuck it. You know, I like doing this. I really enjoy doing this. So it's like, you know, might as well continue doing this sometimes. I love getting over it. Maybe I'll reach 1,000 hours by next year. And with that, guys, see you next time.